Greetings and welcome to Elect Connect, a candidate forum brought to you by the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce. I'm Mary Morgan, the Chamber's Director of Advocacy and Public Policy. We're joined today with Matthew Smith, a candidate for Monroe County Community School Corporation Trustee in District 2. But first, I'd like to thank our Elect Connect sponsors. Without their support, this work would not be possible. Those sponsors are Comcast Business, Bunger and Robertson Attorneys at Law, the City of Bloomington, German American Bank, Indiana University, Hoosier Energy, and Smithville. And now I would like to introduce Matthew Smith, as I said, a candidate for Monroe County Community School Corporation Trustee in District 2. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, pleased to be here.
Great. Could you begin by telling us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for office?
Sure, absolutely. I was born and raised here in Bloomington, been in Monroe County pretty much my whole life. Went to Lakeview Elementary up through Bachelor, Bloomington South. Married, have two kids, daughters 8 and 5. Let's see, I've been in commercial construction as project manager for about 20 years now. Spent 12 years in the National Guard. And I guess just, stay busy. So as far as the reasons why I'm running, I just feel like, especially here recently, there's been what I feel is a lot of mismanagement. I guess the COVID response has kind of been the last straw that pushed me into running. Normally I wouldn't have considered something like this, but I feel like I could do better. There was months and months of time for the school board to come up with a reentry plan, and it almost felt like they just waited until the last minute before school starts to just see where everything was and then wing it. And it's kind of been a pattern. You had the Auxilio bus fiasco a couple years ago where they tried to subcontract out the bus routes, and that kind of blew up by just a poor company choice. And then I guess lastly, from what I've seen, it feels like schools have kind of been moving towards an activism type education instead of just teaching core academics. And, I feel like that's kind of the wrong direction. And I really worry about just my kids and other people's kids' futures and wanting to ensure that they're getting the kind of education they should be.
Well, this question relates to some of your comments about COVID. As students return to school, what kind of feedback have you heard? And is there anything you suggest doing differently based on that feedback?
Some of the feedback I've heard has been pretty positive. The teachers are doing everything they can to work around the constraints. I guess some of the stuff I would probably do different is I think there was maybe a little bit too much money spent on stuff that to me doesn't necessarily make sense, such as sanitizing floor mats at doors. I don't think there's a big concern of the virus coming in on the bottom of your shoes. And I know Owen County, their school system, they've socially distanced their students, and as long as they're sitting at their desks, they're allowed to take their masks off while they're doing their work. And from what I've been hearing, that hasn't been an issue or hasn't caused any sort of a spike in cases there either. And I know with especially elementary age kids that having the ability to take your mask off while you're sitting at your desk would probably help them quite a bit too. So that'd probably be a couple of things I would look at differently. Maybe look at the bus routes and how that's working. I noticed for my kids, they're the first ones to get dropped off the bus, and there's 6 kids on a 80 passenger bus, and that seems kind of wasteful too.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing those observations with us. Again, just as a reminder, we've been talking with Matt Smith. He's a candidate for Monroe County Community School Corporation Trustee in District 2. One final thank you to our Elect Connect sponsors, Comcast Business, Bunger and Robertson Attorneys at Law, City of Bloomington, German American Bank, Hoosier Energy, Indiana University, and Smithville. And finally, a reminder to vote on November 3rd or to participate in early voting if you can. For information about this year's election and all the candidates in our area, there are a couple of online resources, monroecountyvoters.us and the Chamber's nonpartisan election site, chamberbloomington.org/2020-general-election. Thanks for joining us.